A stream of gas is being ejected in the wrong direction. At the end of October, it approaches its next passage by the Sun. This has become the first shocking news received from the Hubble Space Telescope regarding a comet named 3I Atlas, the third in the list of interstellar objects ever discovered. 3I Atlas was spotted on the 1st of July during a survey funded by NASA. This celestial body is not just passing by, it is actively resisting the forces emanating from the Sun. Its tail forms a mysterious thrust system, which has become an incredible discovery, sending shockwaves through the astronomical community. The fact is that comets should not behave this way, contradicting fundamental laws of astrophysics. This strange behavior resembled that of an engine, which was the first hint that 3I Atlas might be something more than just a comet. On the 1st of July, 2025, a survey telescope in Chile captured a faint spot of light moving at an incredible speed. At a velocity exceeding 130,000 miles per hour, it was instantly marked as an interstellar visitor, only the third ever confirmed. This celestial body was named 3I Atlas, but it is not that simple. From the very beginning, this object was different from others. Its path through our solar system was extraordinarily fast and direct, with a trajectory that turned out to be so extreme that it broke all records. The real shock came when powerful telescopes, such as Hubble and Gemini South, focused on it. What they saw sparked a wave of disbelief in the scientific community. Comets typically have tails. This is their characteristic. These tails, made of dust and gas, should stream away from the Sun due to solar wind and radiation. This is one of the simplest rules of astronomy. 3I Atlas breaks this rule. Each new image showed the same impossible picture, a bright, steady stream of material directed straight toward the Sun. It opposed the very force that should have been pushing it away, and this was neither a flare nor a temporary anomaly. It was a constant, prolonged phenomenon that no one dared to discuss, no matter how strange it was. It is as if someone found a flag that is fluttering directly against the wind. Scientists rushed to their computers, checking all available models, but none of them fit. The dust in the stream directed toward the Sun seemed too heavy to be lifted by solar wind, and yet it was clearly being ejected from the central part of the comet. This became a complete contradiction. Many were puzzled by this, as the event unfolded before their eyes, right in our cosmic neighborhood. The trajectory of the object also raised questions. It was tilted by only 5 degrees relative to the Earth's orbit around the Sun. Such alignment was so precise that the chances of its accidental occurrence were less than 1 in 500. Moreover, its path was supposed to lead to tight passages near Mars, Venus, and Jupiter, a sequence of cosmic encounters with a probability of less than 1 in 20,000. This object was not just passing by, it was choosing a picturesque route. Since the moment the object named 3I Atlas was discovered, scientists exclaimed that it was something completely new, not fitting into the usual concepts of interstellar bodies. The initial reports were cautious in their use of scientific terminology, trying to soften the strangeness of the finding. But behind the scenes, there was real panic. How could a comet's tail behave like a propulsion system? What force could be so powerful and controlled as to create a stream directed toward the Sun? This was more than just an oddity. It was a direct challenge to our understanding of the universe. The comet turned out to be a genuine puzzle, and with each passing day, it posed more questions to scientists that had no clear answers. However, the comet's tail was only the first part of this astonishing mystery. The fact is that when any celestial body moves in a way that its behavior cannot be explained solely by gravity, scientists refer to this as non-gravitational acceleration. Typically, this phenomenon arises from jets of gas being expelled from the surface of the comet as it is heated by sunlight, leading to small and unpredictable thrusts. This can be compared to a leaky steam pipe, but the force driving 3I Atlas was far from tiny and completely predictable. Astrometric observations, high-precision measurements of the object's position, confirmed this. 3I Atlas was not following the path dictated by gravity. There was a constant, sustained force pushing it, and the direction of this push perfectly aligned with its mysterious, sunward-directed tail. This was not a leak. It was thrust. The force was estimated to be approximately 4 times 10 to the negative 7th meters per second squared. It sounds insignificant, but over the course of a week, this gentle and steady push shifted the object 1,000 kilometers from where it was supposed to be, according to gravitational calculations. To achieve such thrust through sublimation at any moment, the comet would have had to lose mass 10 times more than astronomers were actually observing. The numbers did not add up, and computer simulations reached a startling conclusion. The only way to explain the observations was that 3I Atlas had a focused jet stream, ejecting primarily heavy particles. The estimated thrust, around 400 thousandths, seemed small, but was comparable to the ion engines we use on our most advanced spacecraft. Then, the James Webb Space Telescope presented the next shocking result. By analyzing the light from the comet's coma, scientists were able to determine its chemical composition. What they discovered about 3I Atlas was shocking. Most comets in our solar system have a fairly balanced ratio of carbon dioxide to water. However, for 3100 Atlas, this ratio was 8:1, with sulfur dioxide dominating. But the real revelation was the metal. The telescope detected atomic pairs of nickel in the coma, and there was a lot of it, while its usual companion, iron, was absent. In our system, nickel and iron, like cosmic brothers, almost always occur together, formed in the same stellar furnaces. Finding one without the other is like discovering a solitary footprint in the snow in the middle of a desert. It simply should not be. The strange chemical signature, combined with a movement reminiscent of a flow, transformed 3100 Atlas from mere curiosity into a troubling riddle. This pattern of anomalies, impossible maneuvers, and strange composition had been observed before. Before 3100 Atlas, there was only Oumuamua. It was the first interstellar object to pass through our solar system in the year 2017, leaving behind a trail of questions that remain unanswered to this day. It was small and had the shape of a cigar or pancake, and its motion was such that gravity could not explain it. Like Atlas, it exhibited non-gravitational acceleration. But this is what made Oumuamua so frightening. It had no tail, no coma, and no visible gas emissions at all, and yet something was pushing it forward. This sparked heated debates and speculations, the most famous and controversial of which was the idea of a Harvard astronomer who suggested that Oumuamua might be an artificial object, a light sail created by an alien civilization. He claimed that the push could have been caused by solar radiation pressure acting on a very thin and lightweight surface. However, this idea faced enormous skepticism in the scientific community, which sought natural explanations, such as hidden jets of hydrogen. But none of the proposed explanations perfectly matched the data. Oumuamua left behind many questions, disappearing as mysteriously as it appeared. Now let us return to 3100 Atlas. It resembles a larger and more noticeable cousin of Oumuamua. Where the push of Oumuamua remained unnoticed, the thrust of Atlas manifests in all its glory thanks to its glowing tail directed toward the sun. If the composition of Oumuamua was a complete mystery, then Atlas provides us with a chemical signature so strange that it could be called alien. The parallel between these objects cannot be ignored. Many researchers are intrigued by this connection, wondering whether these two objects could be related, perhaps originating from one unknown source. These are just two examples of a new and strange class of natural objects that we were previously unaware of, or perhaps we are witnessing something entirely different. No one is talking about this, but the appearance of two such anomalies in just a few years is statistically astonishing. This hints that similar objects may be much more common in our galaxy than we ever imagined. 3100 Atlas is not just a mystery. It is a recurring pattern that compels us to take bolder ideas about the unidentified object a little more seriously. It confirms the feeling that something profound is happening. The universe is showing us what shatters our perceptions, and it has done this twice. The biggest test for this strange object is just around the corner. On the 30th of October, 2025, 3100 Atlas will reach perihelion, its closest point to the Sun. At that moment, the comet will be at the center of the brightest heat and intense radiation. Its mysterious engine will be operating at the limit of its capabilities. It is during this period that any object, whether natural or artificial, reveals its true nature. But there is one major catch. When the comet makes this critical maneuver, it will be behind the Sun from our perspective and will be hidden by its blinding light in an event known as solar conjunction. Throughout the week, our telescopes will be blind, and we will not be able to see anything. This is the moment when every astronomer holds their breath, for this period of darkness is the perfect time for an object to execute a maneuver. At perihelion, the comet possesses the greatest kinetic energy. Even the slightest nudge, a small impulse from its engine, could have a tremendous impact on its future trajectory. If 3100 Atlas were, for example, a probe slowing down to enter orbit, it would do so right here and now, remaining out of sight of our curious eyes. Is this merely a cosmic coincidence? Or does everything align too perfectly? What are we really observing? Let us imagine as if we are sitting by a campfire and gazing at the stars. Could this happen by chance? A comet with a tail pushing it forward, with a chemical composition clearly not of this world, on its way to neighboring planets, and at the most crucial moment, it conveniently hides behind the Sun. Perhaps we are missing a key element in understanding comets. Or maybe this is the first time we are witnessing something that did not arise naturally but was created. We should ponder this. When 3100 Atlas reemerges from behind the Sun, scientists will closely monitor every movement it makes. They will measure its trajectory in real time. If its path changes in a way that cannot be explained solely by the gravity of the Sun, the conversation will shift dramatically. This will be an incredible acknowledgement from NASA, and its pull may just be the beginning of a much larger story. But let us delve even deeper. What if this is not just a probe, but something far more complex? One of the theories circulating at the fringes of science suggests that this is the Briswell probe, an autonomous, ancient, deep space device created to search for and observe emerging civilizations like ours. Perhaps it has been dormant for millions of years. Maybe its flyby of Jupiter or solar radiation became the final trigger in a long sequence of activation. A carefully planned route past Mars and Venus might not be a scenic journey, but rather the final stage of data collection about our system before an important step. Its engine is not needed for travel, but for fine-tuning the final position. Perhaps to occupy a hidden orbit in the asteroid belt and observe us forever. There is an even stranger version. What if its purpose is not just to observe, but to be aware? An unusual chemical signature with a predominance of carbon dioxide and a single nickel may not be the exhaust of an engine. What if it is indeed a payload? Some speculate that it could be a complex terraforming machine designed to alter conditions on planets. It may function as a kind of controlled spraying mechanism, releasing specific exotic materials into the inner solar system. Passing by the Sun, this is the perfect moment to discreetly drop part of the payload, allowing the solar wind to carry it to the desired area. Now it becomes even more intriguing to consider the possibility that the object itself may be a message. Its unusual physics could be quite intentional, representing a kind of cosmic signal. Any civilization advanced enough to notice a comet defying the laws of physics would likely also find a way to interact with it. This could be a sort of galactic test, If we correctly identify it as an artificial object, it may attempt to establish contact after emerging from behind the sun. This is a mystery, the solution to which would be the first step in a planetary-scale experiment. But there is a darker version that some scientists prefer not to discuss. It is based on the dark forest hypothesis, which asserts that the universe is silent because it is a dangerous place, and any declaration of existence could be a death sentence. In that case, the three-component atlas is neither a probe nor a seed, but rather debris. It is the remnants of a conflict that occurred beyond our understanding. Perhaps it is part of a destroyed spacecraft or weapon, still emitting exotic energy and materials that refuse to function in systems. What do you think the three-component atlas really is? Are we witnessing a new natural phenomenon? Or is it a calling card from a distant place? Share your thoughts, and if you want to stay updated on this incredible story, keep an eye out for updates.